Yo, it's Brian here today talking about the San Francisco 49ers as always. Today is Monday, first day of the week. Well, technically Sunday is, but hey, I think everybody knows Monday is the first day of the work week. Anyways, talking about in this video, the roster for this team, seeing that they're ready for another championship run based on every move that they made in free agency and the draft. Everything is over. Essentially, they do have to sign some undrafted free agents if they want to, but other than that, the team is pretty much set in place for another championship run for the 2020 season. I'm excited you guys are as well. I can't wait to talk about this roster even more. In this video, I'll be skipping through each position from quarterback all the way to defensive back, seeing what I feel about each position, just seeing how I feel on both sides of the ball. Excited for Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, the programs that they have been running for the past year or two now. Let's see where it takes us to. Anyways, going to get the video started. Have a quick question for you guys. Do you think I should start a podcast? I'll put that in the card section. If you guys want to answer that poll, please answer in the card section or put it in the comments below if I should start a podcast. Going to get the video started, but before I do, please like and subscribe. That's going to definitely help me out a lot. Click that bell notification to get notified of future videos. Share this channel, share this content with other faithfuls. Let's get this started. 49ers roster, they are ready to make another Super Bowl run in 2020. Time to talk about the roster for the 49ers right now for a championship run. First off, I'll talk about the quarterback position, offense. Jimmy G, I mean, this is a no-brainer at all. He is the undisputed starter for us in San Francisco. It would have been Tom Brady if they would have cut him around April 1st or something like that to save some money for the cap, but they didn't. Now he's the starter for the 49ers. I think everybody's confident in him. I believe he will be making that next great step to being a pretty good quarterback to, I think, a great quarterback. That's just my prediction initially. He's going to do great. Nick Mullins, backup quarterback. Nothing wrong with that. CJ Beathard, I guess they can carry their quarterback, so nothing wrong with that either. I like my quarterback situation right now. Running backs, they got a little bit of a shakeup. Matt Breida is not with us anymore. He got traded to the Miami Dolphins now. Right now, as of this roster, as of this video, the guys on our team is Raheem Mostert. He's probably going to be the number one guy. You have Tevin Coleman. I think he'll still be on this team. There was some rumors that he might have gotten traded. Other than that, I think he's still going to be on this team. Jeff Wilson Jr., I think he's a big dark horse member to get some more playing time, in my opinion. Jarrett McKinnon, he's trying to prove himself to be great because they paid him a lot of money, and so far they got nothing out of him. Hopefully he makes that big jump this year if he does make the roster. And Kyle Juszczyk, that is our fullback. Nothing wrong with that. One of the best fullbacks in the NFL. Well, really, he's the only fullback in the NFL, but still a great guy, a versatile guy, and he's an offensive weapon for the 49ers. Wide receiver core, they did get a bit of a shakeup as well. Emmanuel Sanders, as you all know, is not with us in San Francisco anymore. Still miss him to this day, but hey, it is what it is. We got to move on, I guess. Looking at it, Deebo Samuel, Breida, Aiyuk, our first-round draft pick, they will be our two starting receivers. I mean, when you draft people that high, second and first round, respectively, then they definitely better be your starters coming into this season. Deebo, he's a proven commodity for his first year. I hope he doesn't get that sophomore slump. Aiyuk, I think he's going to make that big jump, from college to the NFL. Hopefully he makes a big difference. I think he will. Other guys below him, Kendrick Bourne, he's a reliable receiver when he wants to catch the ball, when he has good hands. Jalen Hurd, Trent Taylor, they should be making their returns in 2020. Richie James, Dante Pettis, those two guys, they might be on the chopping block, unfortunately, so we'll see them. But yeah, the receiving core, a very young one. I mean, there's not really a younger receiving core than us right now in San Francisco, and that's the one thing I miss about Sanders, is having that veteran presence. But right now, it's just a bunch of young guys, and hopefully they can flourish well in 2020. I think they will, because they did great last year in 2019 under the guidance of number 17. I believe they will be making that big jump in 2020. I know I'm really optimistic about this receiving core. They can do really well coming into this year. Tight end position, you have George Kittle, best tight end in the NFL. Some of you guys might debate Travis Kelce, but I believe he's the best one right now in San Francisco. Other guys, Ross Dwelley, our number 2 tight end. Charlie Warner, he got drafted from West Virginia, so he's going to be our number 3 tight end because Levine Toilolo is not with us anymore. Garrett Sellers just retired. He'd be a great replacement definitely right now in San Francisco. The offensive line, they made some minor changes as well. Trent Williams is our starting left tackle now. Joe Staley's not with us anymore due to his retirement. That's a big shakeup right there. Other than that, the roster looks pretty much intact. Mike Purse is not with us anymore. Pretty much the same starting core of Mike McGlinchey, Langston Tomlinson, Weston Richburg / Ben Garland at the center position. They're still intact as well. This offensive line is going to flourish really well. Trent Williams, I think he's going to have an all-pro year for us. I know it's kind of early to say, but the way he's been playing in Washington, the way he took a year off in 2019, I think he's going to be fully energized to go to a championship contender team. He'll be motivated, definitely. Plus the history with Kyle Shanahan. They played together, coached together in the early 2010s. A lot of familiarity right there. So offense looking really good so far. The biggest question out of any of the positions is the wide receiving core. Are they ready to make that next step to be great in 2020? Also, Jimmy G, a little bit of questions about him, but I believe he's going to be great for us in 2020. I know, right? Saying great all the time, but hey, when you're that optimistic, when you think the roster's that good, you got to say what you got to say, right? Offense, I'm giving them the great big green light, although they're a very young team. Defensive side of the ball right now, this is the interesting part of this video because, as you all know, we have the top defense in the NFL. I mean, what else there is to say about it? And it starts with the defensive line. It ends with the defensive line pretty much because, man, they are just amazing. Oh my gosh, what can you say about them? What can you not say bad about them minus any injuries? That's the only thing that's hampering this defensive line is just injuries. You look at the star-studded lineup. I mean, I'm going to mention the names until the cows come home. Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, D Ford, I guess you want to include Solomon Thomas, Ronald Blair, DJ Jones, now Javon Kinlaw. That is just a star-studded lineup right there. Kinlaw, the biggest question with him, can he replace Buckner? Is he going to be ready for the NFL come day one? I believe so. A lot of people are worried that he's a raw talent. Other than that, I'm not too worried because he has a great defensive line around him. It's not like he's going to the Carolina Panthers where they have a terrible defensive line and they can't get to the quarterback. They have a very good coaching staff in terms of the defense with Chris Craig and Robert Saleh. Not too worried at all. I think he's going to flourish really well in his first year. Is he going to be dominant like Buckner? I don't know yet, too early to tell, but I think he's going to be good enough where to the point the defensive line can still get to the quarterback as much as possible. They will cause a lot of havoc in the run defense and getting to the quarterback on the inside. Defensive line, no question at all. Any edge videos that I do minus injuries, hands down, I'm going to give it to them no matter what. There you have right there. Defensive line, dominant. Linebacking core, hot boys, let's talk about them. Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, Quan Alexander. I made a video about them talking about how underrated they were, and they still are in my opinion. If they can really show up their tackling skills, then I think they're going to be one of the best in the NFL. Hot boys, they have a name for a reason. They're going to be well known come 2020. They could be one of those great defensive linebackers like the Dome Patrol defense in New Orleans. I know that's very early to say, but they are just awesome. They have a lot of potential, and they're still really raw in my opinion. They can make that big jump. Fred Warner, I think he's going to be one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL with Luke Kuechly retiring. Him and Bobby Ryder could be 1A and 1B. I'm just really excited about this linebacking core. The only change that they made was the addition of Joe Walker from Arizona. Other than that, they are really set and go. They're 100% ready to get the season started. Hopefully, Kwan and them, they can stay healthy as much as possible. That's another big concern about this linebacking core. Other than that, working their tackling skills, I think they're going to be great in 2020. Defensive backs, this is the biggest concern out of everybody in every position, whether it's offense or defense. They did not address anything comes to this. I mean, Richard Sherman, Emmanuel Mosley, they're going to be our starters coming into this season. You have Jimmy Ward and Jaquaski Tart. There's going to be starting safeties as well. I mean, when you look at it, they're not a bad defensive back position. I mean, they were first last year in everything in terms of passing yards defense allowed for passing. I mean, that's pretty impressive right there. You don't just get that for no reason at all. It's not like the defensive line is just completely dominating the offensive line over there and the quarterback doesn't have time. I don't know. Maybe their fundamentals are affecting them. On paper, they can do really well come 2020. I mean, Jimmy Ward, they made that big jump from the past couple of years until 2019, they were great. Richard Sherman, he was back to his shutdown quarterback form except the Super Bowl. Mosley, I think he's going to be emerging as a really good cornerback opposite to Sherman. Pretty underrated dude, and I hope he makes that big jump as well come 2020 because I saw a lot of promise in him. I mean, there's a big reason why they yanked Akello. There's been so many times for Mosley. He ended up showing up and showing out. He's going to do great in 2020. They just need another year of practicing or whatever. Defensive backs coach, they actually don't have one yet. As of this video, Joe Woods, he went to the Cleveland Browns as a defensive coordinator. Still looking for that guy to be that next DB coach. Maybe Chris Richard, the former Cowboys defensive backs coach. He could be a great option for them because he coached Richard Sherman in Seattle. That could be an option right there. But defensive backs, I think they're really set. I mean, if they didn't address it in the draft or free agency, then they're really confident in Richard and company to deliver the goods come 2020. That's pretty much it, you guys. Special teams, I guess Mitch Wishnowsky, Robbie Gould, one of the best in the NFL. Well, Wishnowsky is early to tell, but he did really well for us in San Francisco last year as a rookie. Gould, I mean, he made all of his kicks in the playoffs. Nothing wrong with that. Roster-wise, everybody from offense to defense, I think it looks amazing. Just the team is kind of young. That's the biggest concern in certain positions, but I think they're going to be a great team come this year. Maybe 11-5, 12-4. I don't know if they're going to go 13-3 like they did this year, but other than that, they're going to just be amazing come this season. Super Bowl run hopefully coming up in 2020. We'll see what happens then. Please let me know what you guys think about the roster come this year. I'd like to hear what you got to say in the comments below. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe. That's going to help me out a lot. I'll be catching you guys up tomorrow on a Tuesday. I'll see y'all then. Bye guys. Love y'all. Y'all have a good rest of your night. Go Niners all day. Hot boys.